Solomon Islands, a sovereign state located in Oceania to the east of Papua New Guinea. The state includes 6 major islands and over 900 smaller islands. The capital, Honiara, is located on the island of Guadalcanal, which became a famous battleground between U.S. and Japanese soldiers in what is now known as the Solomon Island Campaign of 1942 to 1945. Nestled in the midst of vast oceans, these remote islands have long held a mysterious allure for many. Tales of a tribe of giants, said to be the offspring of Nephilim, still roaming in these islands continue to spark curiosity and fascination among those who seek to unravel the enigma that surrounds these lands. The remote islands were left undiscovered to the rest of the world, inhabited only by indigenous people who had lived on the islands for thousands of years. In 1568, a Spanish explorer by the name Álvaro de Medina became the first European to discover the islands, navigating the oceans from Peru. After discovering the islands, Álvaro named them the Islands of Solomon, with the belief that he had found gold, and not just any gold, but the place where the biblical King Solomon obtained the gold for his temple in Jerusalem. Rumors of such an important find reached explorers in other lands, and in 1595 and 1606, more Spanish expeditions set out to uncover the truth. The discoveries of gold reported by Medina were never verified back then, but in more recent times, companies have managed to mine a large amount of gold from the islands. There's thought to be a substantial amount of gold still buried throughout the land. The mining process for gold on the islands has been controversial, with allegations of exploitation and environmental damage. Some locals accuse mining companies of exploiting their land and resources for their own gain, while others point out the irreparable damage caused by mining activities. However, the allure of the islands is not just about its golds. The native people who have inhabited the Solomon Islands for thousands of years have passed down traditions and oral stories of giants living in the land, much like many other cultures from around the world. And these people living on the islands still believe that these giants exist today. The stories of the giants have many variations and interpretations, with some believing them to be benevolent creatures, and others considering them dangerous and malicious. Some legends even describe giant creatures that hunt people, lurking in the shadows and waiting to attack them. Marius Boyrayon is a researcher and the research director of the Solomon Anthropological Expedition Trust Board, Incorporated. He is one of the people involved in the investigation process regarding the true giants on the islands. Boyrayon is based in Australia, but lived and worked in the Solomon Islands as a helicopter pilot and engineer. He even married a Solomon native woman and became a citizen there. During his stay, he became familiar with the island's culture and traditions, including the stories about the giants. In 2010, Boyrayon published the book Solomon Island Mysteries, which contained stories from the local people, including his wife. In his research, he discovered that giants were living on the islands, and some were over 10 feet tall. He referred to these giants as Guadalcanal giants. They have long, black, brown, or red hair, double eyebrows, red eyeballs, flat noses, and wide mouths. Marius writes that some of the giants were killing and stealing humans from their villages. He speaks of a huge, rogue, killer giant that attacked the indigenous people. Many warriors died trying to slay the giant before villages had to be moved to other parts of the islands to protect their people. The Solomon Island giants are said to have social structures, and there are possibly thousands of them that inhabit Guadalcanal to this day. They use complex cave systems to pass from one side of the island to the other without ever having to see daylight. Among the islanders, one of the most eerie stories related to the giants is the story of Mango. Many years ago, a girl named Mango was taken by the giants. After 25 years, being believed dead and never to be seen again, Mango reappears in an unrecognizable and shocking state. Mango is found to be pregnant and believed to have been taken as a wife by one of the giants for over 2 decades. She gave birth to a half-breed boy who was killed by one of Mango's brothers at the age of 5. Mango herself remained in a severely unstable mental state until her death. According to the story, some of the men on the island are aware of the location where her son is buried. But the stories about these giants were not limited to locals. There are also reports that Japanese forces encountered these giants during the Solomon Islands campaign between 1942 and 1945. Japanese and U.S. forces engaged in heavy fighting on the islands, and Japanese soldiers reported seeing creatures around 10 to 15 feet tall, which would sometimes come charging at units of soldiers. The bullets had little effect on them, and soldiers had a hard time sleeping as they could hear their fellow comrades wailing through the night as the giants launched more attacks. The cannibalistic nature of the giants struck fear in the hearts of the Japanese infantry. Although there are skeptics who dismiss these accounts as myth and folklore, the sheer number of testimonies and eyewitness accounts from various sources gives reason to believe that there may be some truth to the legends of the giants of the Solomon Islands. However, concrete information about these mysterious creatures remains scarce, and the legends surrounding them are shrouded in mystery and uncertainty. The idea of giants has been present in many cultures throughout history, from the biblical account of the Nephilim to depictions in ancient architecture and cave writings. The legends about these creatures may be a remnant of the time when fallen angels coexisted with humans, which led to the birth of the Nephilim and the subsequent appearance of giants in various parts of the world. The sheer amount of legends and stories about such beings across cultures suggests that there may be some truth to the idea of fallen angels and their influence on the world. The legend of Solomon Islands giants is only one piece of this larger puzzle. The relationship between giants and pyramids in different cultures is also an interesting topic. Many ancient societies around the world, such as those in Egypt, Iran, Iraq, China, Mexico, and Cambodia, built pyramids, suggesting that something was happening on Earth in those days. Even more intriguing, these cultures all have stories and depictions of giants. It is possible that these societies had contact with each other and that the giants played an important role in the construction of these pyramids. Let us take, for example, the pyramids in Mexico. Missionaries in New Spain and New Hispanic historians chronicle stories saying that in ancient times there were giants in the land now known as Mexico. They called them Kinametsin, a term used in Mesoamerican mythology for people of great height. The friars were looking for explanations for the large buildings dedicated to the indigenous gods. According to the Journal of Mexican Archaeology, the evangelists attributed the construction of the largest pyramids, such as that of Cholula, to the giants. The Bible gave the missionaries the idea that the creators of these great buildings could be beings like those described in biblical passages. The Goliath against which David fights, or other stories where the triumph of a person is enhanced by overcoming individuals superior in size and strength. A story by Friar Andrés de Olmos, famous for his work as a philologist of the indigenous groups, tells that in the palace of the first viceroy of New Spain, Antonio de Mendoza, bones of a human foot were found where each toe measured almost the palm of a hand. Like the Bible story of Noah and the flood, the giants perished in the catastrophe of Atanasia, a great flood in the mountainous area of Tlaxcala. Another ancient megalithic structures that are believed to be built by the giants are the unbelievable structures made from enormous basalt stones in Nan Madol in the island of Pohnpeian. The walls are standing as high as 58 feet tall and measuring as much as 17 feet thick. Columns and buildings all made from stone which weigh anywhere from 5 to 50 tons, stacked in the manner which one might construct a log cabin. Astonishingly, it has been estimated that over 750,000 tons of stone were used in the site's construction. The labor and effort needed to build these structures are so massive that it couldn't be done by ordinary humans. It was widely believed that this could have only been built by giants. This was supported by the discovery of Victor Berg, the appointed governor during German rule in the island. When he ventured into Nan Madol in 1907, he stumbled upon a sealed tomb that was believed to contain the remains of Pohnpei's ancient rulers. To his surprise, he found skeletal remains that were significantly larger than any he had seen before, indicating the presence of a race of giants standing at 10 feet tall. This discovery led Berg to wonder about the identity of these giant rulers. However, a violent storm that hit the island on the night of his discovery, accompanied by the sound of conch shells and glowing orbs in the sky, left Berg dead the next day, leading the locals to believe that Nan Madol was guarded by supernatural forces. After World War I, Japan took control of Pohnpei, and they also began to investigate Nan Madol. According to remaining sources, Japanese scientists discovered that the ruins of Nan Madol, built on top of coral reefs, were just a small part of the puzzle, and that Nan Madol extended deeper into the ocean, forming an entire sunken city. It was here that the Japanese purportedly discovered massive platinum coffins on the ocean floor, which contained the remains of giant humans standing 10 feet tall when broken open. Due to the loss of many Japanese records from the area during World War II, the details of Japan's rule over Pohnpei are fragmented. The concept of the return of the Nephilim and their offspring during the last days is an intriguing theme that appears in several Bible prophecies. One of these prophecies is found in Revelation chapter 9, which describes an army of 200 million strange creatures that will bring a plague to the earth, resulting in the death of a third of humanity. The nature and qualities of these beings are unknown, but some theories suggest that they may be some type of descendants of the Nephilim, resurrected to fight in the war of the last days. Another Bible prophecy that supports this theory is found in Luke chapter 21, verse 26, which speaks of people fainting with fear and anxiety due to what will happen on earth in the last days. The powers of heaven will be shaken, and men will faint in fear at the sight of what will come upon the earth. Something so terrifying could be the Nephilim and their offspring being resurrected, brought back to life by some type of wicked supernatural event that would occur to usher in the last days of the earth. While these prophecies are open to various interpretations, they are worth considering in the context of the legends and stories associated with giants throughout the world, including those in the Solomon Islands. It is possible that giants still exist today, concealed in the caves of the earth. Only time will tell whether the return of the Nephilim and their offspring is inevitable or simply the stuff of legend and myth. The breathtaking, mountainous, and forested landscape of northern Laos conceals one of Southeast Asia's most mysterious and least understood archaeological cultures, known primarily for the massive stone jars they left behind. The megalithic jar sites of Laos comprise 1 to 3 meters tall carved stone jars scattered across the landscape, appearing alone or in clusters of up to several hundred. These square kilometers of rugged grassland are named as Plain of Jars, primarily due to the presence of 3,000 massive hollow stone vessels scattered across the land. Some of these jars weigh up to 30 tons and stand as tall as 10 feet. Although the locals have long been aware of the Plain of Jars, its discovery by Westerners in the early 20th century prompted archaeologists to unravel the mysteries surrounding these mysterious stone vessels. French archaeologists were among the first Westerners to investigate the jars. One archaeologist named Henri Parmentier observed that while most of the jars were empty, some still contained objects such as ceramic pots, small weapons, and peculiar trinkets like glass beads, bronze jewelry, and children's teeth. Several jars also contained remnants of human bones. Upon closer inspection, it was noticed that a few of the jars were adorned with primitive carvings depicting human faces and figures. Amongst the monolithic jars, circular stone discs presumed to be lids can be found. These discs are sometimes carved with representations of humans, tigers, or monkeys. Despite the bewilderment of academics, historians, and anthropologists regarding their true origins and purpose, the locals have their own explanations. The people of Laos recount a legend that has been passed down from generation to generation and is still believed by many today. According to legends, there existed a race of giants who dwelled in the region and were under the rule of a king named Kun Chung. This king engaged in a lengthy battle against a formidable adversary, ultimately emerging triumphant. To commemorate his victory, it is said that he crafted the jars specifically for the purpose of brewing and storing copious amounts of Lao Hai, a term combining Lao meaning alcohol and Hai meaning jar. Lao Hai refers to rice beer or rice wine contained within these jars, symbolizing the celebration of his conquest. The king of the giants created massive jars as vessels for brewing and storing the wine, which they could also drink from. Modern researchers tried to find an explanation of how early civilizations could have transported such immense and heavy objects from the quarry to their final resting place. That's a journey of up to 10 kilometers, mostly uphill. Some argue that this supports the theory that the jars were crafted by thirsty giants. The megalithic complex in Zagra, Gozo, known as the Ggantija temples, holds a position of utmost significance and intrigue among archaeological sites worldwide. Gozo, one of the 3 islands that make up Malta, lies in the heart of the Mediterranean, a mere 90 kilometers south of Sicily. Ggantija stands proudly on a plateau on the outskirts of Zagra. Encircling the Ggantija megalithic complex is an imposing boundary wall that stands as one of its most remarkable attributes. Constructed using the alternating header and stretcher technique, this wall boasts colossal megaliths, surpassing 5 meters in length and weighing an astonishing 50 tons or more. Comprising 2 distinct temples, namely the South Temple and the North Temple, Ggantija was first excavated in 1826, but scientific exploration did not commence until the late 1920s. The grand scale of these megaliths has captivated the imaginations of all who have beheld them. It is believed that these colossal structures were erected during the Neolithic Age, circa 3600, 2500 BC. Consequently, they surpass the age of 6,000 years, making them among the world's oldest freestanding structures and religious sites, predating even the renowned Egyptian pyramids. Local legends persist that attribute the creation of the island's temples, particularly Ggantija, to giants. The very name Ggantija, meaning belonging to the giant in Maltese, serves as a testament to this ancient tale. As per the folklore passed down through generations in Gozo, it is believed that a female giant, who sustained herself solely on a diet of broad beans and honey, gave birth to a child fathered by an ordinary man. Carrying the child on her shoulder, she proceeded to construct these temples and designated them as sacred spaces for religious practices. As a result of numerous remarkable archaeological findings concerning its previous inhabitants, the Italian island of Sardinia has earned the moniker Land of the Giants. In March 1974, a local farmer came across a significant fragment of a statue while plowing his fields along the island's western coast. This chance discovery sparked 8 years of archaeological excavations and inquiries. Archaeologists ultimately unearthed over 5,000 pieces of intricately carved sandstone, diligently reconstructing them to reveal an army of stone statues representing boxers, archers, and warriors. While a total of 44 individual statues have been discovered, their sheer size is the most astounding aspect. These stone giants reach up to 2.5 meters and weigh 400 kilograms when fully assembled. Equally impressive is the precision of their anatomical features. Despite standing over 8 feet tall, these statues exhibit meticulous geometric details, particularly in their faces. The eyes, for example, consist of perfectly concentric circles, leading many to describe them as having an alien-like appearance. These giants, carved from local sandstone, are believed to date back approximately 3,000 years. Some proponents of ancient astronaut and alien intervention theories argue that their discovery lends credibility to such ideas. Originally positioned as guardians over the tombs of prominent Iron Age Sardinians, these giants stood to watch for only a few centuries before invaders shattered them into the 5,000 recovered fragments. Further enhancing Sardinia's association with the giants are the extensive graves known as Tombs of the Giants. These burial chambers can measure up to 100 feet in length and 8 feet in height. Archaeologists suggest that the oversized tombs were constructed to accommodate multiple bodies. However, local legends persist, claiming that they were built for a race of colossal beings who once inhabited the island. Some even assert the existence of giant bones within these tombs, surpassing human proportions. Luigi Muscus, a local painter and sculptor, recounted his recollections of discovering some of these bones, including skeletons measuring a purported 13 feet in height. According to Muscus and several other locals, whenever these skeletons were found and reported to authorities, they would mysteriously vanish by the following day. The Paiutes, an indigenous Native American tribe residing in certain regions of Nevada, have a long-standing oral tradition that they shared with early settlers of the area. According to their accounts, their ancestors encountered a group of red-haired white giants or barbarians known as the Ggantija. This narrative was documented in 1882 by Sarah Winnemucca Hopkins, daughter of a Paiute Indian chief, in her book titled Life Among the Paiutes, Their Wrongs and Claims. These giants were characterized as fierce, hostile, and cannibalistic beings. According to the Paiute narrative, a significant battle occurred, resulting in their complete annihilation at a location now recognized as Lovelock Cave. As the Paiute's tale goes, after prolonged conflict, the local tribes united in their efforts to eliminate the Ggantija. In the final stages of the confrontation, the remaining red-haired giants sought refuge inside a cave. The Paiutes demanded that their adversaries come out and face them, but the giants adamantly refused. In response, the coalition of tribes shot arrows at them while igniting a large fire at the cave's entrance. The smoke forced a few giants out, who met their demise from a barrage of arrows, while the rest either perished in the flames or succumbed to asphyxiation. Over time, the cave entrance collapsed, rendering it inaccessible to humans and becoming a domain solely for bats. In the early 20th century, archaeologists made a remarkable discovery of numerous artifacts within the cave, triggering an extensive excavation of the site. This finding gave rise to speculations that the legend recounted by the Paiutes might have been based on actual events. The initial findings included intricately crafted items such as weapons, tools, woven duck decoys, primitive clothing, and bones purportedly belonging to giants. While it has been widely reported that the remains of 2 giants, including a male measuring over 8 feet tall, were recovered, this evidence has since disappeared. Moreover, among the artifacts found in Lovelock Cave was a sandal measuring 15 inches in length, further supporting the intriguing narrative. Located in Mexico, the Great Pyramid of Cholula, alternatively known as the Great Pyramid of Tepanapa, is a remarkable architectural marvel that dates back 2,000 years. Surprisingly, when the Spanish army arrived in 1519 during their invasion, they completely overlooked this colossal structure. It's quite astonishing considering that it holds the distinction of being the largest pyramid in the world. How did they manage to miss such a monumental site? The answer is rather straightforward. The pyramid is cleverly concealed within the confines of a hill, making it effectively hidden from view. According to legend, the creation of this engineering marvel is attributed to a mythical race of giants who, it is said, once roamed the lands of Mexico centuries ago. Throughout the centuries, archaeologists, explorers, and anthropologists have relentlessly sought to unravel the mysteries held within this monumental site. Their endeavors have aimed to understand its origins, meticulously peeling back layer upon layer of its construction. Yet, despite their efforts, a consensus regarding the identity of the original builders of this majestic structure remains elusive. Within Aztec mythology, a race of colossal beings known as the Quinametsin is described as having played a pivotal role in the construction of the Great Pyramid of Cholula. These imposing giants, exceeding 10 feet in height and weighing over 600 pounds, are credited in some texts with this monumental achievement. According to Aztec lore, these giants once inhabited the earth during a period known as the Sun of Rain. However, their failure to appease the gods led to their downfall. Divine retribution arrived swiftly and mercilessly, as a catastrophic flood poured forth from the heavens, annihilating these colossal beings and others who shared their fate. The mythology highlights the story of a lone giant named Shelwa, who managed to escape the devastating flood by ascending the neighboring Mount Lalak. As the waters receded, Shelwa descended and, in an attempt to appease the gods and avert further catastrophe, erected the Great Pyramid of Cholula. His endeavors eventually elevated him to the status of a deity, recognized by the Aztecs as one of the 7 giants symbolizing different parts of the Milky Way. The narrative of the Quinametsin also captivated Spanish missionaries who arrived on American shores with the mission of spreading the gospel. In the magazine of Mexican Archaeology, it is noted that the evangelizers associated the construction of the monumental pyramids with the existence of giants. Drawing inspiration from biblical accounts, the friars speculated that the creators of these magnificent edifices might have been akin to the towering figures portrayed in biblical narratives, such as the renowned Goliath whom David confronted. These stories emphasize the triumph of individuals who overcame adversaries possessing greater stature and strength. According to a narrative recounted by Friar Andres de Olmos, renowned for his expertise in Nahuatl, Huasteco, and Totonaco languages, an intriguing discovery unfolded within the palace of Antonio de Mendoza, the inaugural viceroy of New Spain. Reportedly, bones belonging to a human foot were unearthed, with each toe measuring nearly the size of a human hand's palm.
The ancient civilizations of North America left behind remarkable structures that continue to amaze us. But there is another aspect that has fascinated researchers for years: the presence of giant skeletal remains. Ancient artwork from various cultures often portrays larger-than-life figures, leading some to speculate about the existence of ancient giants. Texts such as the Book of Enoch and Native American folklore mention the existence of giants, raising further questions about their origin. Some theories propose that ancient aliens could have interacted with humans in the past, potentially leading to the creation of these legendary giants. Could the ancient giants in North America have been aliens from another world? What evidence supports this theory? Around the turn of the 19th century, numerous credible sources reported the discovery of colossal skeletons in ancient burial mounds across America. These findings gained significant attention. Located on the outskirts of the Humboldt Sink in western Nevada, there exists a small cave that has undergone substantial changes over time. Previously, it was part of Lake Lahontan, one of North America's largest lakes during the Pleistocene epoch, approximately 13,000 years ago. As the lake eventually dried up, smaller lakes were formed, including Humboldt Lake. Situated on the shore of Humboldt Lake, the cave was inhabited by a group of natives who enjoyed a bountiful life of hunting and fishing. However, a startling revelation emerged. Delving into the research surrounding these inhabitants, we discover that both archaeological and historical evidence indicate that they were not ordinary Native Americans. Instead, they belonged to a race known as the Ggantija, or known as the red-haired giants. They were characterized by a towering height of 10 feet. They struck fear into their neighboring communities through acts of cannibalism. The existence of the cave is verifiable, and one can reach it by driving along a lengthy dirt road from the nearby town of Lovelock, Nevada. Lovelock has experienced growth as a small farming town amidst the fertile soil of the Sink. The stories surrounding the cave are also genuine, and a quick online search for red-haired giants will yield numerous websites recounting the same tale. In 1912, guano miners working in the cave stumbled upon an abundance of relics. Subsequently, the site was handed over to anthropologists from the University of California, who recovered thousands of artifacts. Based on the oral traditions passed down by the Paiute Indians, we learn that they eventually triumphed over the Ggantija giants. The Paiute Indians managed to trap the giants inside the cave and smoke them to death using fire. Additionally, the recovered artifacts included human bones that had been split open to extract their marrow, bearing the markings of stone knives. Curiously, there is no record of these purported giant bones being preserved for further examination. Some suggest that they are being deliberately concealed or kept in locked cabinets and secure sections of museum collections. However, most sources discussing these stories speculate that the bones were simply lost over time. It is worth noting that early excavations of Lovelock Cave were highly destructive and lacked scientific rigor. Finding information about the colossal human remains discovered across the country is a challenging task in the present day. Nevertheless, there are preserved newspaper articles that narrate the story of these giants. In January 1841, a published article detailed the discovery of bones and a skull in Jackson County, Mississippi, on the eastern shore of Pascagoula Bay. In the base mouth, the remnants of an ancient fortification, likely built many centuries ago, were found. This structure appeared to be primarily constructed using seashells. Within the ruins, several feet below the surface, investigators uncovered charred coals and fragments of a specific type of earthenware, alongside numerous human bodies. Among these remains, certain parts of a human skeleton of remarkable size were found. The upper portion of the skull was reported to be large enough to loosely fit over the largest modern head. Once more, in October 1845, a printed article emerged, this time from the Madison banner. The article proclaimed, based on highly credible sources, that an individual in Franklin County, Tennessee, made a surprising discovery while digging a well. At a depth of 50 feet, they came across a human skeleton of extraordinary proportions, measuring a staggering 18 feet in length. Furthermore, in 1856, the Boston Medical and Surgical Journal published an article recounting the discovery of slumbering western giants. According to the Burlington Iowa State Gazette, during excavation work for Governor Grimes' new building on the intersection of Main and Valley Street, laborers stumbled upon an arched vault measuring approximately 10 feet in both length and width. When the vault was opened, an astonishing sight greeted them. It contained 8 human skeletons of colossal dimensions. The reports of giant human skeletons being discovered persisted until 1922, raising questions about the fate of these bones. Where did they ultimately end up? Is there a place where one can view them? The answer to these inquiries may be disconcerting, potentially more unsettling than the actual discoveries. In recent years, there have been several assertions that the Smithsonian Museum concealed, destroyed, or deliberately kept secret the existence of sizable human remains found in North America. However, the Smithsonian vehemently refutes these claims, and reputable fact-checking organizations have debunked this notion over time. But for those oversized skeletal remains that were kept, scientists are studying the DNA extracted from these remains to determine if there were any genetic anomalies that could explain their unusual size. Scientists in white lab coats examine the DNA samples extracted from the giant skeletal remains. They work diligently, analyzing the genetic material with sophisticated equipment. In their quest for answers, scientists have turned to advanced DNA analysis techniques. By studying the genetic makeup of the ancient giants, they hope to uncover any potential genetic anomalies that could explain their massive size. The initial findings from their analysis are quite fascinating. They've identified certain genetic markers that indicate a unique combination of alleles associated with growth and skeletal development. These variations could potentially explain the extraordinary size of the ancient giants. In addition to the genetic evidence, researchers have turned to ancient artifacts and inscriptions for further clues. These artifacts depict encounters between humans and beings of immense stature, often interpreted as giants. Ancient texts and legends from different cultures contain intriguing accounts of encounters with giants. These stories describe giants as otherworldly beings, suggesting a possible extraterrestrial connection. The presence of giants throughout ancient history and their association with advanced knowledge and technology raises compelling questions. Some believe that these giants were part of an extraterrestrial race that visited Earth in the distant past, influencing human civilizations and leaving behind monumental structures as their legacy. There are even claims of secret underground tunnels and hidden chambers that could have served as dwellings for these ancient giants. Explorations in remote areas have uncovered intriguing evidence, including oversized tools and architectural elements that seem beyond human capability at the time. Some theories propose that these giants were a product of extraterrestrial influence, with the giants themselves representing a distinct extraterrestrial race. They may have played a pivotal role in shaping ancient civilizations and bestowing advanced knowledge upon humanity. Consider the ancient astronaut hypothesis, which suggests that advanced extraterrestrial civilizations visited Earth in the distant past. Could these giants be the offspring of such cosmic visitors, possessing unique genetic traits and unparalleled knowledge? The connection between the Anunnaki and the Sumerians stands out as a prominent aspect of the ancient astronaut theory. The Sumerians, an early civilization situated in the region of Mesopotamia, present-day Iraq, are recognized as one of the earliest urban cultures in the world. Within their belief system, the Sumerians acknowledged a pantheon of gods, including the Anunnaki. According to their beliefs, the Anunnaki descended from the sky and played a crucial role in the creation of humanity. In the Sumerian language, the term Anunnaki roughly translates to those who are from heaven to earth, implying that these beings may have originated from a location beyond our planet. Extensive mentions of the Anunnaki can be found in Sumerian texts, which serve as some of the earliest written records in human history. These texts portray the Anunnaki as a powerful group of deities who held significant influence over the creation and governance of the world. The Sumerians attributed the formation of the earth, the creation of humanity, and the establishment of civilization to the Anunnaki. In conclusion, the question of whether the ancient giants in North America were aliens remains a fascinating and complex mystery. While the existence of giant skeletal remains and the presence of ancient legends offer tantalizing hints, conclusive evidence is yet to be found.
Hidden deep within the Ecuadorian Amazonian jungle, a group of explorers and researchers made a significant find when they stumbled upon an ancient pyramid complex. This remarkable discovery had remained unknown internationally as well as within the country. Bruce Fenton, one of the researchers, speculates that this complex could potentially be the fabled Lost City of the Giants. The name is derived from the discovery of unusually large tools in the vicinity and the existence of local legends recounting a race of giant humans who once resided in that very area. Ecuador, a country situated in the northwest region of South America, captivates visitors with its diverse natural wonders and rich cultural heritage. Nestled between Colombia and Peru, Ecuador boasts an incredible variety of landscapes, from the lush Amazon rainforest to the majestic peaks of the Andes Mountains and the breathtaking islands of the Galapagos archipelago. Known for its abundance of biodiversity, this geographically compact nation takes its name from its location on the equator. Within its borders, it is home to a remarkable variety of plant and animal life, showcasing an impressive range of flora and fauna. Ecuador's vibrant culture reflects a blend of indigenous traditions, Spanish colonial influences, and modern cosmopolitan flair. Its cities, such as Quito and Guayaquil, showcase historical architecture, bustling markets, and a vibrant arts scene. The mainland of Ecuador can be categorized into three distinct physical regions: the Costa or coastal region, the Sierra or highland region, and the Oriente or eastern region. Even prior to any explorations conducted in this country, tales and myths about the presence of giants in the area had already emerged. These captivating stories depict the existence of ancient cities built by giants long before regular humans settled in the region. Transmitted through oral tradition from one generation to another, these legends have endured throughout time, resonating within the folklore of the Amazonian tribes. These accounts describe enormous pyramids and structures crafted from massive stones weighing tons, evoking a sense of awe due to their grandeur and size. According to these narratives, the cities of the giants were once flourishing civilizations that preceded the current tribes and their ancestors. As time passed, the local tribes utilized these sites for their ceremonial gatherings, as they believed these locations were inhabited by powerful spirits and forces, deterring others from venturing near them. The stories portrayed giants as magnificent beings towering over ordinary humans in terms of size. The artifacts they left behind were of such immense proportions that handling them would prove challenging for average individuals. These colossal tools, combined with other archaeological findings, indicate the existence of an incredibly advanced civilization possessing extensive technology and knowledge far surpassing that of contemporary tribes in the region. It is precisely these enchanting legends, passed down through generations, that ignite the aspirations of a team of explorers, compelling them to embark on a demanding expedition through the unexplored depths of the Amazon jungle. Their unwavering quest is driven by the desire to uncover the legendary lost city of the giants. Could it be that this vast expanse of the Amazon jungle once served as a realm for ancient giants long before human presence graced this corner of the world? In 2012, an extraordinary finding emerged, lending credibility to the narratives shared by indigenous tribes. Deep within the secluded reaches of the Ecuadorian Amazon jungle, researchers stumbled upon an astonishing array of megalithic structures. Notably, a colossal pyramid stood out, soaring 80 meters in height and stretching across 80 meters in width. Crafted from a multitude of substantial and irregularly shaped stones, each weighing around 2 tons, the pyramid exuded an awe-inspiring magnificence. Crowning its summit was a level expanse, likely utilized as a sacred platform for ceremonies or sacrifices. French-American archaeologist Benoit Duverneuil described the intriguing site as resembling a paved wall or an ancient street, possibly even a vast structure's roof, characterized by a remarkable 60-degree angle. Numerous stones showcased impeccable alignment, sharp edges, and an appearance suggestive of human craftsmanship. There are still numerous sizable mounds awaiting excavation, and despite being concealed by mud and plant growth, their form indicates the presence of buried pyramids. This implies that the city encompasses more than a solitary pyramid. It actually harbors an entire complex of pyramids. Historical knowledge has shown that such complexes typically revolve around a central pyramid, often housing the remains of a revered leader. Nonetheless, the awe-inspiring revelations at the giant city extended beyond the structures themselves. According to archaeologists, the most significant findings unearthed at the site were the remarkable manufactured tools that had endured the test of time, seamlessly blending with the surrounding natural environment. Their colossal size and unconventional characteristics added an extraordinary dimension to the archaeological exploration. Among them, a significant number take the form of stone tools, with several exhibiting extraordinary size and weight that would have posed challenges for an average-sized human to wield effectively for practical purposes. While researchers propose that these tools may have been employed for metalworking, their precise function remains elusive. According to one of the researchers, the tools observed provide compelling evidence that the individuals who utilized them belong to the same lineage as the giants. Notably, they came across remarkably oversized hammers, or at the very least, stone hammerheads. Assuming these hammerheads were affixed to hardwood handles, they would have yielded exceptionally large and weighty implements. Consequently, the practical utilization of such tools by individuals of average Inca or Native American stature, who are typically of smaller build, becomes highly improbable. Additionally, the team stumbled upon a cement-like substance used to bind the massive stones together. This finding suggests that this could be an early instance of concrete usage in the Americas. Collectively, these discoveries indicate that the builders of this ancient city possessed engineering knowledge far beyond their time. Based on the significant size of these tools, researchers have developed a hypothesis suggesting that this might be one of the fabled lost cities of the giants, renowned in local Ecuadorian folklore surrounding the Amazonian region. Such mysterious sites evoke profound fear among the indigenous population of Ecuador, believed to be safeguarded either by spirit guardians or extraterrestrial entities. Remarkably, the discovery of giant human remains in caves within the vicinity, as well as other regions of Ecuador, lends further credence to these tales. Furthermore, the researchers uncovered several large stones featuring perfectly cut circular holes in their centers. It becomes evident that the magnitude of this finding surpasses initial expectations. According to the explorers, this remarkable find holds the potential to unravel numerous mysteries of South America and may even lead to the discovery of one of the world's most coveted treasures. There's an alternative theory regarding the presence of these structures. Some researchers speculate that the site could potentially be the resting place of Atahualpa, the last Inca emperor, who is believed to have been buried alongside a vast fortune in gold. This king engaged in a conflict with his half-brother Huáscar over control of the empire. Eventually, he was apprehended at his palace in Cajamarca, located in present-day Peru, by the Spanish commander Francisco Pizarro. Initially, Pizarro agreed to release Atahualpa in exchange for a chamber filled with gold. However, the Spanish conquistador ultimately broke his promise. He ordered the execution of the Inca king before the final and largest portion of the ransom could be delivered. According to the tale, instead of receiving the gold, it was concealed in a hidden mountain cave. And so, the legend persists, challenging others to validate its existence. The quest for the tomb and its accompanying wealth has become an iconic historical pursuit, captivating the imaginations of countless individuals and fueling numerous expeditions that, thus far, have yielded no success. However, Fenton posits that the site likely predates the Inca civilization and may have belonged to an unknown pre-Inca culture. His conviction stems from the discovery of 30 tools in the vicinity and the observed erosion on the large stone blocks. The investigation of the site is immensely challenging due to perilous conditions. The nearest town is roughly 8 hours away, nestled within dense and mountainous jungle, with a treacherous route fraught with risks, including the presence of killer bees resulting from a failed experiment in the 1950s that unleashed thousands of deadly bees, causing numerous fatalities throughout North and South America. Given the immense importance of the discoveries in the area, it would be expected that the Ecuadorian government would provide strong support for the exploration efforts. These findings were even hailed as one of the most significant archaeological breakthroughs in recent memory. However, the response from official institutions has been disappointing. In 2013, the Ecuadorian Ministry of Culture sent a team to validate the findings. But despite clear evidence of human-made structures and artifacts, their official report categorized the site as a natural formation rather than an ancient archaeological site. Moreover, the mainstream media has completely ignored the discovery of megalithic structures. Nonetheless, Fenton and his team hold the conviction that the intricate arrangement of the boulders, the elaborate pattern, and the meticulous construction strongly suggest that the enigmatic lost city of giants is not a product of natural forces. Instead, they view it as one of the most compelling pieces of evidence supporting the notion that giants once roamed the earth in ancient times. The legends of giants extend beyond ancient folklore, as they find mention in the Bible as well. The Bible introduces us to these giants, referred to as the Nephilim. The Hebrew term Nephilim is occasionally translated as giants, or interpreted to mean the fallen ones. Found within the Hebrew Bible, specifically the Christian Old Testament, the Nephilim stand as a puzzling group marked by their exceptional size and strength. According to accounts, they are believed to have existed both before and after the Great Flood, as recounted in the books of Genesis and Numbers, with potential references in the book of Ezekiel. In the first book of Enoch, it is mentioned that the Nephilim were giants, aligning with the description of people of great size found in the Numbers passage. The belief is that the Nephilim's colossal stature is attributed to their supernatural lineage. Presently, over a decade since the initial expedition, there is no available information regarding subsequent research or any new discoveries made at the site. Researchers express disappointment that the site has not been thoroughly explored and documented, and the theft of many artifacts further complicates attempts to piece together the site's complete history. Allegedly, the Ecuadorian government exhibited reluctance to pursue further archaeological investigations, although they expressed a willingness to excavate the area for potential oil deposits. This controversial stance has given rise to additional questions and controversies surrounding the lost city of giants. Be it an alluring piece of fiction, an age-old myth, or a fragment of truth gradually fading into the depths of history, the mystery surrounding the ancient city of giants in Ecuador persists.
This 1544 map of the Americas by Sebastian Munster captured our interest. One of the most intriguing features of this map is the inclusion of the Latin words Regio Gigantum, which translates to Region of Giants. When we've done our research, we've found that there are numerous references to giants in this area throughout history. So who were these giants, and what happened to them? Join us as we uncover the intriguing history of these giants in the old American maps. The discovery of giants in South America was a shocking revelation for the scientific community in the 18th century. According to reports from English explorer John Byron, these giants stood at an incredible height, towering over even the tallest of men. This news was met with disbelief and skepticism, but Dr. Matthew Maddy, the secretary of the British Royal Society, was convinced of the truth of these claims. In a letter to the French Academy of Sciences, he declared that the existence of giants in this part of the world was confirmed. But the tale of giants in South America didn't begin with John Byron's journey. In fact, stories of these mysterious creatures had circulated for more than 2 centuries. The first accounts of Europeans of these giants was in 1520 by the famous explorer Ferdinand Magellan during his circumnavigation of the world. According to the chronicler Antonio Pigafetta, who accompanied Magellan on his journey, one day, we saw a naked man of giant stature on the shore of the port, dancing, singing, and throwing dust on his head. When the giant was in the Captain General's and our presence, he marveled greatly and made signs with one finger raised upwards, believing that we had come from the sky. He was so tall that we reached only to his waist, and he was well proportioned. Magellan named these giants Patagons. This name may have been derived from a Portuguese and Spanish word pata, meaning foot. This interpretation has long been accepted as the origin of the name, but some have speculated that Magellan may have been inspired by a literary figure in a Spanish novel from the early 16th century. Regardless of the true origins of the name, it eventually stuck, and the region became known as Patagonia, or Land of the Big Feet. Ferdinand Magellan's encounter with the giants of South America was not just in passing. He captured 2 of these giants in an attempt to bring them back to Spain and prove their existence to the world. Unfortunately, like Magellan and the majority of his crew, the giants did not survive the journey, and their remains were apparently disposed of. Despite the lack of tangible proof, reports of these giants began to appear on maps and in the accounts of other explorers. In 1579, Sir Francis Drake's ship chaplain, Francis Fletcher, wrote about meeting very tall natives on their circumnavigation of the world, describing them as men in height and greatness so extraordinary that they hold no comparison with any of the sons of men this day in the world. While Fletcher's account put the tallest of these natives at around 7.5 feet in height, which is shorter than what the Spanish had described, they still seem to confirm the existence of giants in this part of the world. Throughout the end of the 16th century, reports of tall natives and what could be described as giants continued to surface. In 1587, Thomas Cavendish reported finding giant footprints in the region, and his companion Anthony Nevitt claimed to have seen living giants that were 13 spans, or 9 feet tall, as well as a dead body that was even taller. Before the turn of the century, 2 Dutch captains also wrote about encounters with these giants. They claimed that they were 10 or 12 feet tall. In the 18th century, reports of the giants of South America were mixed. Some accounts claimed that they were indeed giants living in this part of the world, while others stated that they were taller than the Europeans but could not be described as giants. Some even reported that they were of average height. Despite these conflicting accounts, the region continued to be labeled as Patagonia, or Land of the Big Feet, on maps. However, the depiction of these giants on maps became less common, which may be due to changing artistic styles. In 1767, an account of British naval captain John Byron was published, in which he confirmed the existence of giants in South America. Alongside this account was an image of a family of giants offering them a biscuit. This account was so convincing that Dr. Matthew Maddy wrote to the French Academy of Sciences declaring that the existence of giants in this region was confirmed. In his letter, which was published in the London Chronicle for all to see, Maddy wrote, "Between 400 and 500 Patagonians of at least 8 or 9 feet in height have been seen and examined by the company of one of our ships, just returned from a voyage around the world." However, soon after Dr. Matthew Maddy's letter was published, one of France's most prestigious scientific journals claimed that the British had fabricated the whole story as a way to distract from the mercenary purpose of England's ship off the coast of Argentina. In 1773, another book was published that included accounts from the famous explorers of the day, including John Byron. It turned out that Byron's previously published accounts of giants in South America were nothing more than rumors. In this book, Byron officially stated, "One of them, who afterwards appeared to be a chief, came towards me. He was of a gigantic stature and seemed to realize the tales of monster in a human shape. If I may judge of his height by the proportion of his stature to my own, it could not be much less than 7 feet." In 1767, another British naval officer, Captain Samuel Wallace, took measurements of the natives in Patagonia using a measuring rod. The tallest man he measured was 6 feet 7 inches, but he reported that most were between 5 feet 10 inches and 6 feet tall. In a 1774 book, a Jesuit missionary named Thomas Faulkner, who had spent almost 40 years living amongst the tribes of Patagonia, mentioned a chief who was 7 feet and some inches tall. However, Faulkner also stated that the Patagonians are a large-bodied people, but I have never heard of the gigantic race which others have mentioned, suggesting that the belief in Patagonian giants may have been exaggerated. These 3 accounts, along with the revised accounts of John Byron and others, seem to put an end to the belief in giants in this part of the world. If giants did exist in this region, it is likely that they would have been wiped out by disease or genocide, but no archaeological evidence of their existence has ever been found. It is now believed that the Spanish may have exaggerated the size of these natives in their reports to bolster their own reputation as explorers.